finally heard me talking about I hope Darnell's okay, and with practically zero fanfare, just called in and said, hey, I'm fine, and we had kind of a catch-up session, I guess. But he is, wherever he was, he's back in full force. Because all these people were like, I heard Darnell. Did you know Darnell? I go, yeah, he called us last week. So he's making the rounds, which is fine. That's good. Maybe he's pent up. You know, he's a wheelchair-bound, blind kid. He's 37. But, you know, that kind of life has probably got to keep you kind of boyish, right? It's got to kind of keep you, you're kind of relying, no matter how self-sufficient you've become, you're kind of reliant on other people. He lives with his grandparents, I think. So anyway, for the people who've been blowing me up, hey, I heard Darnell. I said, yes, I'm aware of that. Thank you.
Darnell's back.
All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of, I assume, women texting me who very much are on Mary's wavelength with Backstreet Boys and very much want to be your plus one the next time they come through.
Dude.
Mary has said she's seen them twice since she's been sober. Is that true?
No. Okay. I only saw them one other time, and I did 3 shots of 151 to pregame.
Yeah!
That was the state I was in.
That was the pregame.
I think I've told this story.
That was to get ready
and
for
you
the
got
show.
Kicked out, and you tried to sneak.
I went backstage, and after the first time I got backstage, they took me and were like, hey, don't do that again. They let me go back to my seat, and then the second time I was fighting with the cops, and they made me call a cab, and I peed in my friend's parents' sink, and it wasn't a great night.
Not necessarily in that order.
Right.
Yeah.
And this wasn't your rock bottom. This was...
No, that was like early drinking days. That was like 2012, whenever NKOT BSB came. That was their combo show with New Kids on the Block.
Mm-hmm.
I actually asked my friend last night, because the one that I was with, whose parents I peed in their sink, I asked her, I was like, was the last show this good? And she was like, no, because they split time with New Kids.
Right.
Yeah.
But
so this one wasn't
still be good, though?
But we didn't get 2 hours of just them. You know what I mean?
2 hours of hits.
You're an idiot. They've been making music for 25 years.
Yes, but I'm saying
a lot of people that have been
30
making
years.
music for that long that don't have a bunch of hits. However, to your point, they do have a lot of hits.
They have a ton of hits.
Right.
They played a straight
because
hour
the world
of like
is
number one songs.
Irrespective of what Elon Musk thinks, the world is never going to be short on teenage girls.
Right.
Or preteen girls.
There were a couple songs where I was looking at my girlfriends, and it wasn't as big of an explosive song. Some of the slower stuff, and I was like, oh my God, is this a deep cut? Like, it's something that we grew up singing. That was one of our favorite songs off the albums. But I was like, not that many people seem to be singing along with this song. And it made me feel very old, because there was 2 younger girls in front of us who knew like the Backstreet's Back, like the couple really big hits. And they were dancing. And then they saw us like losing our minds, our mid-30s moms, like gyrating. And
also, you have to remember that America is currently, as we are in so many other areas, losing to other countries. You know, all of these MAGA types who have these fake outrage for pedophiles and groomers, although they want nothing to do with actually finding people who do that, they would be well served.
Can we play a game right now?
Can we play a game right now?
Just one quick trivia question.
God, here we go.
I mean, I thought I was going into something
I
here.
thought you were too.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm just so excited about this.
Here it goes.
And it might be... Okay, let's just go with it.
Can we play a trivia?
Look, one question.
It's going to be belittling the Backstreet Boys, but go ahead.
It's just a fact about the Backstreet Boys.
Sure.
How many hits, number 1 hit songs, did the Backstreet Boys have?
See,
5.
number 1 is the qualifier here.
Backstreet's
Hits don't
Back was
necessarily
definitely number 1.
But hits don't necessarily
It's
mean
called
number
Everybody.
1 hits. A lot of people with hits that never go to number 1.
Everybody
This
was
is the
definitely
trick
number
question.
1. Larger Than Life was definitely number 1. It's gonna be probably less than 5. 4. How many
Alan,
was it?
what's your guess?
I have no idea. I'll say 4 with her.
Poundcake?
Number
12.
1.
12?
12 number 1 hits.
And the answer is 0.
Oh, I don't believe that.
0.
That's crazy.
But that's
0,
my point. You
0.
can have tons of hits. None of them went to number 1.
The closest
a
they
lot of
came-
people don't go to number... Most people don't go to number 1.
The closest they came was Quit Playing Games with My Heart.
That was a good... God, I'm telling you, man, those last 12 songs... They played over an hour of people, and they didn't stop. They were dancing. We were screaming.
What's the closest they got then?
He just said, quit playing games with my heart.
But what number?
2.
Probably 2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is
Okay,
according to Insider.com.
But here's,
Sure.
but here's what I'm saying, though, is that this country is currently losing out in the boy band battle.
Dude.
Because of so much open pedophilia in the boy band management sector. Who is the big boy band now?
The K-pop one, BTS.
BTS.
Yeah.
From Korea. They're massive, right? There is no current, that I'm aware of, current reigning American boy band. So we are in the boy band arms race, of which there are usually, let's say, 8 to 10 arms. In a boy band, right? We are currently losing. There's no current reigning American boy band.
Well,
There's a deficit
When's the
of
last
young
time?
boys, and it's because word gets around that these managers, your Lou Pearlmans and your whoever's, want to get their pinky all stinky, and so the moms and dads are like, "I'm not having you." So it kind of, with the proliferation of singing competition shows, where people were like, "Well, I don't need these other schmucks; I'll do it myself." BTS, the reigning current boy band. It probably will be for a while.
It's funny you said that because there
It was One Direction. I get that.
No,
That's-
Big Time Rush.
They're British.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is there even
Big
a
Time
current?
Rush.
well, that's what I was
What?
going to say.
That was like
Current
15 years ago.
yeah.
That wasn't that long ago.
Yes, it was.
It was my niece's favorite band, and she's only 10.
Who are you talking about?
Big Time Rush.
Big Time Rush. Yeah, they were based off of a TV show. They're essentially they
They're
were
like the
American.
band, right?
They're the Monkeys.
They were. It was based off the TV show. They would not have been as popular had they not had that Nickelodeon show. But what I was going to say is there was a band I just read just yesterday. It made news yesterday that the boy band Why Don't We. That was the name of the band, the boy band. They are taking a hiatus because of mismanagement.
Never heard of them.
So
Big
I
Time Rush
imagine-
started in 2009. I remember
my God.
I remember my older kids watching that show when they were younger.
Yeah.
9 tracks, but that was a while ago.
My
Big
niece
Time
was
Rush
more
and
much
Jonas
smaller.
Brothers, I feel like, were the
Joe
last.
Bros.
Jonas Brothers don't
The
count
big
as a
ones.
boy band.
What about
They're
the
a
Naked
band.
Brothers band? Remember the two actor brothers that are now, their parents were actors, and so they got a TV show, but now the Wolf Brothers, now they're
I've
in
never
movies.
heard
The
of
kid
that.
was in Hereditary, and they're like legit actors now, but they had a thing called the Naked Brothers band.
There used to be a lot of them. I mean, because I remember Diddy had a boy band. So when it's a black artist, they have just like R&B groups, like Boys to Men. You wouldn't call that a boy band, would you?
No, they're an R&B group.
They're an R&B group, but they had a boy
Well,
band.
they were boys to men.
Anyway,
Diddy had a group called Day 26, and that was a boy band.
well, so
and they had like an album, and then they died off.
we were at the concert last night, and we were watching, and we're like, there is nothing like this anymore that I
Because
know of.
it's corny now. Like
It's
that type of music,
not.
pop music would be corny.
I hate to point out again through my boy band conduit, one Corinth's Q-Rotic. New Kids on the Block had 2 number 1 hits. So
Wow.
I mean, again, I certainly hate in the American boy band arms race.
That's fine. I don't
you
really
think
care.
But according to what? Because according to this article that I read, they never had a number 1 hit
New Kids?
on the pop charts.
New Kids, I'm talking.
Oh, New
about.
Kids. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
But Alan,
sorry.
He's so
They all re-
focused
they-
on crapping all over the Backstreet
No,
Boys, he can't listen.
I can't differentiate between the game.
They have
the
different
bands.
names.
I know, and they still. If you say New Kids on the Block, I think it's Backstreet Boys and vice versa. Because that's how. Like, I was never into these kinds of bands.
Bill was an LFO man, all right?
Yeah,
Just
he
calm
liked
down.
98 Degrees.
but
That's
Alan,
right.
to your point,
Okay.
I was just going to ask, what makes America different than any other country? Why? Just because
Because the pedophilia.
other countries don't have pedophilia?
Oh, maybe.
What do you think? One Direction hasn't gotten felt up, or BTS hasn't got felt up by anybody in their country?
I think it's also that K-pop in general is such a huge phenomenon. Like there are female bands that have
Yeah.
30 members in them. It's like Menudo. Like Mario Lopez, I think just said he's going to resurrect Menudo, and he's going to manage it or be in it or something. That's where Ricky Martin came from. I remember when I was a kid, Menudo was on this show called Kids Are People Too. And there were 6 or 7, the 70s maybe, 6 or 7 Mexican kids that were in this boy band called Menudo, which I think means watermelon or I don't know. And they would just rotate people in and out. So
So the band never
I
got
don't know.
old.
I don't know what the difference is, but
Well, okay.
Well, I'm
and-
just saying, rumor gets out here.
you have a larger fan base in Asia
well,
than
yeah.
you would anywhere else. And once you get people, stateside that are getting into those bands.
I just find it weird that you think America's unique in that aspect where why just here? I think there's a bigger
Unique in what aspect?
You think that pedophilia is unique?
Well, first
to
of all, I was doing a bit, but second of all, this guy, he loves to play along.
My
What
question-
I'm saying is, all that aside, we are currently losing the arms race in the boy band, in the global. We haven't had a legit boy band.
It had
but
its
I don't think we
moment.
need one. That's what I'm saying. We have other rap and pop artists
that's fine,
that make up for that.
But watching the show last night, where I'm like, all 5 of these guys are crazy talented. They're all great singers. They're all phenomenal dancers. They can all hold their own individually. Like, watching them, I was like, I can't name another. Well, there aren't any other groups, but like, Post Malone is huge right now. Dude can't dance. He can sing.
But the
just
thing
fine,
is,
you know?
boy bands, I know why America doesn't want to do it, because boy bands are crazy expensive. The music industry changed in the aspect of they're trying to cut people out of bands. They're not trying to build bands up. That's 5 more mouths that the record label has to feed.
Mouths?
Listen, if they can make money, they don't care.
right.
They're not worried about that.
But they're not.
It's a more marketable. It's easier to market one person versus 5, and
Correct.
I think they have become a little just played out. But there could be in like the next week a boy band come out and it just all starts over again.
The Wiggles are still popping. No one says anything about the Wiggles. What?
Because
Fruit salad.
that's a yummy.
They
yummy.
tour all around the world.
That's a band
they
for
play
boys
instruments.
and girls, not
It's
a
a
boy band.
children's band.
Right. Those are like Aborigine boomers in that band. Boys to Men were on the boy band Christmas special in 2021. Somebody points out, listen, what are the 2 solely American art forms? There are 2 and only 2. The 2 solely American art forms. What are they?
Jazz and mass shootings.
And stand-up comedy. Jazz and stand-up comedy, right? So are boy bands the province of this country? No. All I'm saying is, for a long time, when you thought boy bands, you thought American goddamn boy bands. So
Backstreet- yeah, all of
that's
them.
another area in which we have fallen behind. And again, I got no skin in this game. But as Mary is, you're sleeping on this if you don't pay attention to what she's saying. As a grown-ass woman who's screaming her little heart out. Dude. That place last night probably smelled like wet pennies.
Dude,
But-
it was unreal. There was like 8 guys there, and I was like, God, you're gonna get so laid tonight.
And they were
Like,
working security.
They came. Well, it was so funny because
They
they're
went
like,
under duress. They
they're
hated
like,
every second of it.
ladies make some noise, the place goes insane and screaming and whatever, and they're like, fellas, and they're like, whoo. Like, that's what it's like.
Why
10
even
dudes.
say fellas? That's
Right.
trolling your own audience.
We're like, well, you guys are
boy.
trying. Good for you. Good for you. But yeah, I mean, just basically, like, there were no backup. It was just the 5 of them on stage the entire time. No backup dancers, no backup vocals, nothing like that. They didn't need any support because they were all so talented.
Let me ask you this. Because I assume, when they just played Toronto, Drake got up and sang with them. They had no special guests.
No special guests.
Michael Stanley's dead, right? I mean, when you think of like local musical luminaries. I
Yeah.
mean,
Is 98 Degrees still popping?
No.
no. Listen, did anybody get married at the show last night? Was there anybody who was like, hey, sometimes
No,
they'll figure
not
that
I
out?
saw.
Nothing like that.
Nobody, yeah, there were no like on stage, nothing like that happened. They did change on stage though. They changed their clothes and threw their underwear out in the audience.
Oh, I thought you meant the great John Waite song Change.
No, they did not.
Could you
perform
see?
that. No, they were behind like a little
Of course.
thing, and then they like are throwing out their shirts and did like a strip tease. It was really, really hot.
Today, by the way, I don't know if you remember this. 15 years ago, there were people all around the world, a lot of them in America, who thought it was really cool to get married on 7707. They were like, oh, we'll never forget our anniversary, right? People, for some reason, have a hard time with anniversaries, so they try to make them as idiot-proof as possible. Well, all those people are celebrating their 15th anniversaries today. And I'm curious, I just wonder, how many of those people who thought it was a cool, fun idea are actually still together? I had a friend that did this back in 07.
My brother got married on 8808.
8808. Okay.
Yeah.
We get married on 6/6/2000.
I'm sure so many people did like Halloween themed.
June 6,
horror.
2026 is what
Yeah.
you're right. But that would be 6/6/26.
He's talking about 2006.
I said I wish I could
2006.
have.
Oh, I see.
yeah.
I'm actually that being someone's birthday.
These people are celebrating their 15th anniversary. I mean, obviously, like, I'm sure, given the number of people who will normally get married at a Vegas chapel, You throw ostensibly lucky numbers into the mix, and I bet these people, there was a line going down the street on 7707.
Well, when you ask if people got married at the show last night, you also have to understand that their target demographic is 35 to
Everyone's
45.
divorced.
They're married or divorced already, right? I don't know that's really
a lot of
what
people
they
get
were
married
going
again.
for. Yeah, that's true, but that wasn't what it seemed like. A lot of mom's night out. Some pregnant women too.
So a lot of before or after the show?
During.
Oh, beautiful. So there was a lot of like wine o'clock t-shirts out in the audience.
Well, no, it was a very heavy wear the band shirt to the concert, which I am not ashamed to be that person. I walked in, bought 2 shirts, put one on, put one in the bag.
Well, that's a lot more acceptable in some genres than others.
I think pop music is the big
Pop
one.
music, I think it's probably okay because you're a booster.
Yeah.
Heavy metal, we're too cool for that.
Right.
You don't wear the shirt of
You
the
try
band
to
you
wear
want to see.
heavy metal. You're trying to wear a shirt that's so obscure that somebody else will see and be like, "Oh, I've actually heard of them." Like,
Or the complete opposite end of the spectrum,
Yeah.
right? If I go see Lamb of God, I'm wearing a Steely Dan shirt.
Wear your Backstreet Boys shirt.
Yeah!
She's got an extra.
The one I got last night is so cute, but it was so sweaty. I was like, man, I want to wear this again. It's like a scoop neck off the shoulder. It's got like a 90s theme. It's super cute.
The
This one's more
90s theme,
chill.
who'd have thunk?
This one's more chill. But
Hey, Caleb,
Hey, Alan, hate the show.
how are you?
Hey, I'm good. I kind of caught this segment halfway through, and I heard a call for a goddamn American boy band. So I'm calling in to go to bat for my wife. She is still a avid and diehard Hanson fan,
Okay.
and they still tour every year.
I guess
Yeah,
that
they got
was...
a weird audience. My friend is
Yeah.
really into them, and I went to. They did like 2 nights at the House of Blues, and one night was all just old, like early rock and roll covers, like obscure rock
they
and
only
roll.
have Bop. What else is?
Yeah.
No one's listening to
no.
Hanson for.
No,
Oh, they are putting out new music. I mean,
Yeah.
No
they
one's
have
listening to the new
they have
Hanson. It's like
diehard fans that know
It's like a
them,
post-grunge type thing. Kind
everything is
I've gone to
going.
one show with her, and we went to Buffalo to see it, and it was all of their music on string instruments.
that's
Yeah,
weird.
They're doing it all.
Yeah, they do like events down, and they'll do like getaways and cruises and stuff like
But
that.
if-
Yeah, my one friend, she saves up all her money so that she can go to Jamaica and watch them play, and
they
then
have
see
a-
them here, and then see them wherever. Yeah,
Yeah, they have a week-long getaway in Jamaica where, like, I guess it's one of those quality over quantity where you don't have a big crowd, but the crowd you have is totally wet in the basement, front to back.
I would do that.
contained for the whole thing.
They know.
I remember the only time one of the Hanson dudes was in this one-shot super group called Tinted Windows that I saw years ago. It was one of the Hanson dudes. It was Bunny Carlos, who was the drummer for Cheap Trick. It was James Eha from the Smashing Pumpkins. And it was this guy, Adam Schlesinger, who has since died. He died from COVID. But he was in this band, Fountains of Wayne. And the 4 of these guys did this one-off band called Tinted Windows, where it was like this kind of post-grunge type thing, and it was really good. But that's literally my only experience with anybody involved in Hanson, was him and these other dudes. And I'm like, that's okay.
I mean, I feel like I'm a pretty heterosexual man, but I got to give it up for Hanson because they can play pretty much every instrument on the stage, and I enjoyed it.
Why did you have
all
to?
Me and all the other middle-aged women and gay men that were screaming there really enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah, but you can, as a man, you can just say, yes, they're very talented musically without, I mean, did it give you a boner? Is that why you had to preface this?
I can't confirm or deny that.
Hey,
Caleb's
there
in
you
Kent.
go.
It's a college town. He's got to let people know.
What
Thank
was-
you, Caleb. Appreciate the call there. Yeah, he's Caleb's theme song from Odds. Remember this song?
What was the Adam Schlesinger song that was like,
Stacy's mom?
yeah, that's the one. But no, like, didn't he write another one that was like it was like a fictional song for a movie or
I think
something?
they're all fictional songs.
I know, but I can't remember what it was.
I don't remember. I know he was one of the first celebrity deaths from COVID. I do remember that. He's a young man. I got to take a break. I'll have those tickets for you after the break for Dirty Honey. If you want to see them, they're doing a thing. California Dreamin' Tour is what it's called. It's mid-September at the House of Blues. And then 3:30 is going to be the next Time for you to grab $1,000. Keyword coming to go fuel yourself. 35192. Want to text for anything else, and we'll be back.
It's the Alan Cox Show.